I wanted to include this slide to make your girlfriend, your wife, your whore, because this is something I've not seen anyone talk about. So, those dating coaches and book authors I described where the teachings are just bullshit. It doesn't work, especially not nowadays. They're either complete frauds, like those cringe dating coaches, or their tactics are so outdated, like the boomer book authors. The reason why my wife and I have such great date nights is not just because I put in all the effort to look perfect for her. I get her to put in effort to look perfect for me. You have waited a long time to date or marry this beautiful, feminine, virgin, virtuous woman who's never been touched, who is clean. She's preserved herself for you. That doesn't mean that she now has to be boring. That doesn't mean that she now has to look stale. You need to make your housewife your whore. Now that you've married this perfect virgin woman, why wouldn't you make her fulfill all your sexual fantasies, all your sexual kinks? There is no reason that only trash tier girls are the ones that you can be dirty with. There is no reason why you can't be an utter degenerate, filthy with your virgin wife. That's the whole point of marrying a virgin woman. What is the difference between a dirty woman and a high quality woman? The dirty woman wants to be a whore with every man. She wants to dress up sexy. She wants to put on tons of makeup. She wants to be frisky with every man that gives her attention. The virgin woman, the virtuous woman, still wants to be a whore. She still wants to dress up like a whore. She still wants to have filthy, frisky fun, but with one man. Not random guys of Tinder, not random men who cold approach her. Just one man, her husband. Be proud of whatever fetishes and kinks that you have. I released a guide about how I maintain sexual excitement in my marriage. And I covered this in detail, so you can go watch that. But if you like something, if you like a particular kind of look in a woman, whether it's what she wears, whether it's how she does her makeup, whether it's how she presents different parts of her body, like her feet, if you have feet kinks, don't be embarrassed. You've literally waited your whole life for this woman. What's the point if you can't explore and have fun in the ways that you want to? A man and woman, a husband and wife, have the right to explore their sexual chemistry how they see fit. Fuck what anyone else says. I'm not into feet. I don't find women's feet attractive at all. But I can understand why you might. I can fully understand if you love the idea of your wife on a date night wearing open toe heels where you can see her feet and her toes. I can understand why you might want her to scrub her feet really well so they are ultra clean. And for the date night, she paints her toenails red or white so they look beautiful. Now, that wouldn't do anything for me sexually. I might find it cute, but I wouldn't get aroused with it. But I can understand why you would. So if that's what turns you on, get your wife to do it. Make her do it. Just tell her, this is how I want you looking tonight. Get your woman to fulfill all your desires. Tell your woman to wear exactly what turns you on. So I'm not interested in feet. What I find sexually exciting when it comes to how my wife presents herself physically is what she wears and her makeup. So I've known for a long time, I am very attracted, I'm very turned on to bimbos. A bimbo is, imagine a porn star who has bright blonde hair, big, thick lips, massive tits, real tits. I don't really find fake enlarged breasts attractive. I like big natural breasts, but I'm talking huge breast, like big, okay? Big ass because she squats, thick thighs. And I like this kind of woman wearing a mini dress, a short dress. Not too revealing. That ruins it for me. That's not fun. But it shows off enough of her figure that I can't stop thinking about her. That's what turns me on. So, what do you think I tell my wife to do for date nights? To the point where she now does it instinctively. What do you think I tell my wife to wear for this formal date night? So, I'm wearing my dress shirt. I'm wearing my suit pants. I'm wearing my formal shoes. I'm looking like James Bond. What would my wife wear? A bodycon dress. This is a very stretchy dress and it's very tight fitting. And when women wear this, it shows off their curves incredibly well. It accentuates that perfect hourglass figure. When a woman wears a bodycon dress, her boobs look bigger, they look bustier, they look tighter. Her waist looks slimmer. Her ass looks more curved, more beautiful. Her thighs look thick, juicy. And I get my wife to wear a bodycon dress and one that's mini in length. Mini means that it just goes down her bum. That's it. You can also get other lengths of women's dresses, like midi dresses, which go up to her knees, maxi dresses which go all the way up to her ankles. Listen, if that's what you like, tell your wife to wear whatever you fancy. But for me personally, this is the look that turns me on. So that's the dress that my wife wears for this date night. A bodycon mini dress, tight, even tight skirts. Again, bodycon skirts. Ones that hug a figure. I'm not really attracted to the casual outfits. My wife will wear them if we're going on a casual date. Like, say, if I'm wearing my black t shirt, my black jeans, and my black boots, then my wife might wear something to complement that. Like jeans. Again, they're quite well fitting. She still looks good. Her thighs still look thick. Her bum still looks nice, but it's not as sexy as the dress, is it? She could wear a summer dress, which is a little bit looser than the bodycon dress, a little bit more flowy. I find that kind of outfit cute, not exactly sexy. She could wear longer skirts, like up to her knees. Again, it looks really cute. She looks very pretty and beautiful. But it's not something that genuinely arouses me. What arouses me is when my wife looks like my whore. And that's subjective to different people. What I need my wife to look like to make her become a whore for me could be different to what you need. But what you'll find is it often follows the similar elements. Like it often involves some form of being promiscuous for your husband. So showing off parts of your skin, your figure for your husband. It involves wearing a hell of a lot of makeup, like heavy makeup. I would show you text, but I've got this presentation up where when I'm taking my wife out for a fancy dinner date later in the night, a few hours beforehand, I'll text her and I'll say, wear this dress, do your makeup like this, and wear heavy makeup. Literally twice as much as what you think you need. I want my wife looking like a cheap prostitute for me because that's what I find sexy. I can have her be a pretty good girl anytime. She could literally do her makeup pretty during the daytime, but that wouldn't arouse me. What would arouse me is my wife puts on tons of makeup. She looks like a genuine cheap whore, like a type of whore that I would honestly violate because I don't care about her. I just want to fuck her bloody. I often see men online say that, oh, I don't like women with heavy makeup. I like the natural look. That's pathetic. Fine, you might find the natural look pretty, but you're telling me that you are more aroused by a woman who puts in less effort to make herself look sexy for you. You're telling me when men say, I like a woman who doesn't wear makeup, you like how a woman looks when she wakes up, when she's not got perfect skin because she hasn't put on her creams and her makeup. Natural beauty is important. But if you genuinely think that a natural look is more sexy, more sexually exciting than a look that she's put in a ton of effort, you clearly don't have experience in dating or marriages, which probably is none of you, because then you wouldn't be watching these videos. You'd probably be watching videos on how to send dick pics to girls to make them like, something stupid and immature. But any guy who's actually dated properly or even married or is married right now, you'll understand what I mean. The sexiest that you find your woman is when she puts in a ton of effort and a ton of time in looking perfect for you. The goal of the date night is to build sexual excitement. It's not to look pretty, it's to look sexy. How do you look sexy as a man? Dress like James Bond. How do you look sexy as a woman? Look like a whore. When my wife is getting ready for date nights, she spends 4 to 5 hours getting ready from the point that she enters the bathroom to take a shower to the point that she's downstairs ready to leave. 4 to 5 hours could have passed of non-stop hygiene, grooming, hair, makeup, outfit. My wife will literally go shower, shave, everything. That's her grooming, that's her hygiene routine. Then she'll do her hair so she looks really attractive, really sexy. Her hair isn't frizzy. She curls it or she straightens it so it looks neat. It looks tidy. She looks like a movie star. Then she'll spend a good 2 hours doing her makeup, heavy makeup, putting on tons of stuff, foundation, eyeshadow, mascara, lipstick. How do I know so much about my wife's makeup? Because I literally tell her what to do. I give her an instruction, a command, and she does it because she wants to be my whore. She's not a duty. She doesn't do it because she's compelled to. She does it because she craves what will happen afterwards. Because she knows that when she puts in this time and effort for me, I will reward her through a night of sexy fun. So whatever you find incredibly attractive, get your wife to do that for you. And if you have never got your girlfriend or wife to look like a whore for you the way that I've described, just do it once. Just tell her, wear a mini bodycon dress, one that shows off your tits, one that shows off your ass. Wear heavy makeup, like twice as much as what you normally put on. I want you looking like a whore. Imagine your wife comes to you afterwards and she looks better than the sexiest porn star that you've ever seen. You would be over her. You would pounce on her like a lion, like a hungry lion pounces on a gazelle. Like you might say, fine, I want her looking like my whore, but what about when we go out? I don't want other guys looking at her. And you're right, that's cuckold behavior. If you show off your women to other men, you are a cuck. Now, you might be into this. I'm not going to judge. You do you. But for any like true masculine man who isn't like a complete degenerate, just get your wife to cover up. When you're heading out, when you're going to the restaurant, make her wear a coat. Then when you get to the restaurant and you're sat at your booth, I always book a private booth when it's just you two. Then she can take it off. So it's only you that gets to see her skin. It's only you that gets to see her figure. It's only you that gets to see her sexy beauty. No one else can see it. Make your wife your whore. Otherwise, why did you marry a virgin woman? Why didn't you just marry an actual whore? Where do you actually take her? What's the venue? Take her to a place that looks sexy, that looks romantic, that has this sexy romantic vibe, this really sexy romantic atmosphere. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a place that serves the best food or that serves the best drinks. Think about everything, the atmosphere. So, what's the vibe like inside? When you enter that place, how do you feel? Is there a ton of people there where it's so crowded? Everyone's sitting shoulder to shoulder. That's not sexy. Or is it quite quiet and cozy, where people are chilled and relaxed, where they can be themselves with their partners? That's sexy. Think about the vibe as well. Are people inside, are they dressed sexy? Or are they just wearing casual clothes? This restaurant that you like, they might serve amazing food. But what if it's just like a family restaurant like Pizza Hut? You go there and it's just families, kids running around. Dads dressed in jeans, shorts, wives dressed in leggings, no makeup, no sexy women inside. Would that give off a sexy vibe? Of course not. You want to take her to a place where there's other couples, ideally your ages, not like boomers or young kids, your ages, between 20 to let's say 30 something. And they're putting in the effort just like you are. The man is dressed up nicely, he's wearing a dress shirt, he's wearing suit pants. The woman is wearing a sexy dress, heavy makeup. It's chilled, it's relaxed, there are no stupid, retarded children running around. It's sexy. Think about the music. Just because a place looks good and serves good food and drinks, what if they play rap music? What if they play pop music like Katy Perry or Taylor Swift? That's not sexy. That would kill the vibe. You're just in a generic place. You want to make it seem like tonight is the most special night you and your woman will share. Take her to a place that has really chilled, relaxed music playing. Often it's things like deep house or ambient music or even live music. Think about the density, how many people there are inside. You don't want to take her to a place that's completely dead and empty. It might seem sexy and it can be romantic sometimes, but then things can be a little bit awkward because if you're the only couple there and there's nobody else in this restaurant or bar, then you feel a little bit self-conscious that the bar staff are looking at you, that the waitress is keeping an eye on you. That kind of ruins the sexy vibe. You want to be almost hidden in the atmosphere. That's when your woman will be able to relax. That's when she'll be able to let go of any anxiety that she has and truly show off her natural beauty to you. Exude this sexy persona just like you are. The location and the area. So it's not just about what the place looks like inside, it's where is it situated. Women, especially feminine women, are emotional creatures. So you've now put in the effort, she's put in the effort, you both look like $1 million, sexy, fucking, you can't keep your hands off her. You're driving to the restaurant and you have to park your car a little bit away, it's only a short walk. But as you're walking, there's crackheads on the street, homeless people, drunks. There's like some pubs open, the disgusting ones that play football really loud. There's like gross, bald, fat men inside cheering. Would your woman, would your wife, your girlfriend, would she continue to feel sexy? Or would she start feeling a little bit unsafe? Would she start feeling a little bit concerned that she's in a bad neighborhood, that there's some pervert watching her, that there's some rapist following you, there's some homeless guy who's HIV positive coming your way, who's going to mug you? So all that sexual excitement that you built up has now been terminated because your wife feels different. She feels negative. So think about the location. You have to pick a place that looks good on the inside, but the surrounding area is also good. It's quite high end. It's safe. It has this luxury feel to it. Go on Google. Try and find sexy restaurants, bars. Like I said, my wife and I, we don't drink. We despise alcohol. But I will admit that the vibe inside certain bars is genuinely 10 out of 10 sexy. My wife and I don't go to clubs like nightclubs, but I have taken her to some which aren't really like nightclubs. They're a mixture between a nightclub and a restaurant. So you go in and the place is quite big and everyone's dressed fancy because it's not a cheap place. It's quite a luxury environment. The guys are wearing dress shirts, the women are wearing bodycon dresses. Everyone looks sexy. You sit down and the waitress is very attractive. She's sexy herself. She brings you the menu. And at the center stage, there's essentially a burlesque performance. Burlesque is like a higher quality version of a stripper. So a stripper would normally dance to trash music, She'll probably be diseased herself. She's not very attractive. She's just a whore, probably, is a sex worker as well, probably fucks guys for money. That's not sexy. That's like trashy sexy, but it's not romantically sexy. I've taken my wife to this club slash restaurant where they had this really sexy woman. Again, massive tits, massive bum, but she's wearing like a feather lacy dress. So you can see enough. You can see that she has massive boobs, massive bum, but you can't really see her nipples. You can't see her vagina. And she's delivering an erotic performance. She's not shaking her ass or twerking or rubbing her pussy. She's got feathers in her hands. And she's dancing seductively. She's walking. She lifts the feather. So you can just glance. You just get a glance at her boobs, but then she covers it up again slowly. And she's acting very shy. She'll come close to a couple and she'll literally like move her body like this next to the guy, next to the woman. You can imagine that the excitement builds up. That's sexy. It's different. You may not have experienced that. I'd never experienced something like that before, but I loved it. It was the perfect mix between the excitement that you get in like a strip club, but nowhere near as trashy. In fact, it was really luxurious. And that got us in a really exciting mood, sexually exciting mood, because you see another beautiful woman perform in a very seductive way. And my wife can see how aroused I am by that, and that turns her on. You don't have to pick a place that's expensive, by the way. What I've described might sound like you have to spend a lot of money. That's not true. Some of the places that I take my wife, they look fancy. The atmosphere is luxurious. The vibe is sexy, but it's very affordable. A dinner for two with non-alcoholic drinks might come to anywhere between $50 and $100, which isn't a lot for two people. I've spent nearly 10 times that much on me and my wife on a dinner on a very special occasion, but I'll be honest, that place wasn't as sexy. I didn't take my wife there because I wanted a sexy date night. It was just a romantic date night. But in hindsight, I've had more romance and sexy fun built up when I've taken my wife to these more affordable places that look good. So cost doesn't have to be an issue. Just go on Google, look at the reviews, check out their menu, make sure it's affordable for you. But focus more on the vibe, the atmosphere that you get, rather than the food or the drinks, the quality of them. If you genuinely want to have a 10 out of 10 sexy night, then that's more important.